Welcome to SBSparts.com, easy steer power steering installation for the Can-Am Commander. This system will work on all Commander models. These are the three brackets required for the power steering installation. This is the power steering motor and gear drive. This is all of the hardware and the control module necessary for installation. This is the wiring harness and the upper and lower steering shafts. The first step in the installation is removal of the steering wheel, and you can also remove the tilt steering shock. Pull the steering column out of the way for easier access to the steering shaft. Remove the gold steering bracket nuts. Remove the bolt and nut on the upper steering shaft in order to remove the shaft from the vehicle. Remove the steering shaft bolts and then remove the lower steering shaft from the vehicle. This is the upper steering shaft. It will go on once the lower steering shaft is in place. Bolt the lower steering shaft to the rack and pinion. Remove the voltage regulator that is located below and behind the steering wheel. This is the voltage regulator removed from the bracket. Hold on to the hardware. You'll need it for reinstallation. This bracket will be mounted against the stock steering bracket. This is that bracket installed with just a large bolt. There are two more bolts that will go on the back. This view shows those two other bolts installed, one forward, one backward. We'll wait to tighten these until we install the other brackets on the vehicle. The second bracket will bolt to the first bracket. We've installed the voltage regulator on the second bracket and then bolted that bracket to the first bracket. This view shows the ground wires bolted to the voltage regulator bracket and the other bolts on the regulator bracket. This is the electronic power steering module bolted up to the lower steering shaft. You can see the upper steering shaft mount bolt here. This is how the two brackets will look bolted together without the steering motor attached. This is a little bit better view of that steering motor bracket. This is the rear side view of that steering motor mounted on the mounting bracket. This view shows the orientation of the motor on the bracket. This is a view of the lower steering shaft mounted to the upper steering shaft. This is a view of the upper steering shaft where the steering wheel goes in. Install the steering wheel spline in the upper steering wheel shaft. Attach the electronic control module to its mounting bracket. You can see where the mounting bolts go in this view. Reinstall the tilt steering shock mount bolt. Install the steering column bracket nuts here and here. These are the various electronic plugs going into the electronic control module. They're easy to decipher because they all have a different size receiver. The white wire on the wiring harness should be threaded through one end of the Scotch lock. This plug has a red wire going into it that should be spliced into the Scotch lock along with the white wire. Peel back the covering tape to expose the red wire. Bolt the positive battery wire to the battery terminal and the negative terminal to the battery. This is the red and white wire spliced together with the Scotch lock. And your SUPERATV power steering unit is installed on your Commander.